Britten's War Requiem, the original recording was made at Kingsway Hall in London in 1963. It sold 200,000 copies in the first 5 months of release, which is almost unheard of even today. It was something that was both musically extremely important and also commercially and technically a triumph. Benjamin Britten had a very long-standing relationship with the Decca record company, going all the way back to 1944 through to his death in 1976. And it was just an enormous privilege to have the chance to go back to the tapes with our engineer Phillip Siney and do the very best we could for the original recording.
Oh, it's very nice to have the opportunity to meet up with all of my colleagues here again after so many years, many of whom I've not seen for 60 years.
At the time we were doing the recording, none of us knew that it would be turning out to be such an important piece of music.
My experience just now, listening to that fantastic remastered recording, you'd have to be pretty hard-hearted not to be moved by that music. I did find it got me more than I was expecting.
It was always Decca's philosophy to, when we were recording, to try and get the feeling that you're sitting in the best seats in the concert hall at a concert. That's always been the Decca philosophy. Other record companies try and get the sound that the conductor hears from the podium. But for Decca, no, you're sort of 3 or 4 rows back, in the middle, the nicest seat. And what Dolby Atmos does, it gives you more of a sensation you're in the concert hall with the musicians, with the singers, with the choir.
From what we've heard this afternoon, anything that's in that medium, if that's the right word, is clearly going to be superior to anything you will have heard before.
The remastering process, the biggest job was sorting out all the noises. The Kingsway Hall was very close to an underground line. There was a branch of the Piccadilly line, and during the recording you'd regularly hear the rumble of the underground trains. Also on old recordings you often have hiss problem, tape hiss, and I've tried to minimise that.
It was just magical to actually, you could feel like you're actually in the hall.
I actually heard instruments that I've never heard before.
I think Dolby Atmos gives all classical recordings another dimension. And especially in this piece, because it has so many different perspectives. The boys' choir was positioned in the balcony of Kingsway Hall with the intention to make them sound as if they were coming from above. Dolby Atmos gives it the sensation of height, the spatial effects that the music asks for. The original members of the boys' choir, they really felt they were transported back over half a century to the original venue.
If Dolby Atmos had been around in 1963, the recording crew would have absolutely loved it, because the War Requiem just lends itself to that sort of thing.
The fact that it at the time utilised all the benefits of stereo, the fact that we've now been able to enhance that with Dolby Atmos means that something that was made 61 years ago, 3 years before England won the World Cup, gives it a validity today and a value today that you can't deny.